Goedenavond allemaal, welkom op de laatste voorstelling van vandaag. We gaan dadelijk kijken naar, een beetje feedback op precies, naar Rebirth, een moderne twist. Een moderne twist op het Frankenstein-verhaal. Waarin het wil niet mee vandaag, vanavond. Een moderne twist op het Frankenstein-verhaal, waar het leven van een vrouw die zich bezighoudt met het reanimeren van dieren samenkomt met een moeder die haar dochter verliest. En veel meer ga ik daar niet over vertellen, maar dat ga ik overlaten aan DJ BQ die dadelijk de regisseuse die hier aanwezig is gaat interviewen. Een applaus voor Laura Moss.
Thank you, hello. Let's stay away from each other.
No. Good evening, Israel. We are going to close the night with a horror movie called Rebirth. Or is it a horror movie, Laura?
I don't think of it as a horror movie. I hope I'm not disappointing you. I think, you know, I tried to get this movie made for 6 years, and the traditional US horror companies, Blumhouse and the usual suspects, kept asking me where are the jump scares in this movie, and I said there aren't any. And why do you use the word placenta so much in the movie? And I said, because it's necessary. And so it's a strange movie. I think if there are any David Cronenberg fans in the audience, Dead Ringers is a very close cousin of this movie. And I wouldn't call that a horror movie either. But it is inspired by Frankenstein, the classic Frankenstein story.
You started 6 years ago, as you said. Just like in any other movie, there are many people involved, but it was your original idea, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think I read Frankenstein when I was a teenager, and it was the first movie that I had, the first novel I had read by a woman in school that I really connected to. Everything else had been about marriage and petticoats and manners, and this story was so epic, so it just kind of kept echoing in my head. And I kept thinking about Mary Shelley, the author, and her life, and she sort of became the Victor Frankenstein in my mind. And so eventually this movie came out, this idea of sort of fusing Mary Shelley's biography with the Frankenstein story.
Another very important person is Brendan, who is also here in the audience. Maybe he can wave. Okay.
Brendan O'Brien is my co-writer. We wrote the film together, we write all our films together, and we will be at the bar after the screening. If you want to talk to us, we would love to talk to you. Thank you for coming.
And a third person is the actress Marin Island, who is quite popular now due to the Boogeyman. I also understand that she was a very important part for the acceleration of the movie, right?
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to say too much because you haven't seen the film yet, but Marin plays this sort of Dr. Frankenstein character, and it's a difficult role. I knew she was going to be incredible. She's a very respected stage actress in New York. I had seen her performing in theater a lot on Broadway. But I was worried that she wasn't famous enough for the people financing the movie to allow us to cast her. Luckily, Shudder had actually worked with her before on a horror movie called The Dark and the Wicked, if any of you have seen that. And so they already really loved her, and they gave us their blessing when we went to her. And she, lucky for us, she really loved the script.
And a very tricky question. It's based on Frankenstein by Mary Shelley. I don't know how many movies are made, but a lot. Why is yours different?
Oh gosh, well, I mean, I don't want to claim that this is an adaptation of Frankenstein. It's not. It's very different because it's just inspired by some themes in Frankenstein. That's all. I don't want to say too much more. I think that's all I'll say. I think it will become obvious why it's different, but I'm afraid to spoil it.
I went drinking a beer downstairs.
Drink about it downstairs.
Okay, no, but when I was drinking a beer downstairs, a friend asked me, you have to ask, suppose Mary Shelley is here in the audience, what will you say to her? So what?
Thank you, and what do you think? And no, I think I would be curious for Mary Shelley what her reaction is to how sustainable her myth that she created is. Like, I can't imagine what it must be like. I'm sure in her lifetime she didn't know that we would be reckoning with these stories hundreds of years later. It's pretty incredible.
Yeah. The movie itself has been shown at Sundance. It has very good reviews. You also told me it was shown at the BFI in London. I suppose that has opened many doors for the movie, not?
Yeah, I mean, it's very exciting for me, you know, to just be able to experience the film with those kinds of audiences. And it's also really exciting to see the film play in different countries and different... In America, a lot of questions after the film are about sort of the issues of healthcare and the U.S. healthcare system. So I'm very curious to see what an impression it makes here in Belgium, you know, what things come up for people outside of America when watching this movie.
So after the movie, Laura will be here, and Brian as well. You come to her or to him to ask some questions. We only have one question left. Do you want to be reanimated from death?
Do I want to be reanimated from death? It really depends on the circumstances. I'm going to say no. I'm going to say I haven't seen it go well for many people. So, no.
Okay.
But thank you.
Good viewing, and give a big applause to Laura and Brian.
Thank you so much for coming.